Hello, good day. Once again, this is your teacher Danny of Paliparan 3 Senior High School. Today we'll discuss about the human person in society. First, we have to discuss what is society. Society refers to a large, independent, and organized group of people living in the same territory and sharing a common culture and heritage. People within society impart to each other knowledge, skills, and behaviors through their various everyday interactions. And these interactions are often governed by written and unwritten rules that reflect the shared ideas, views, and values of the members of the society. Society can take many forms and has evolved to develop various characteristics. The simplest and earliest societies are the hunting and gathering societies that adopt a lifestyle dependent on resources readily available from their surroundings. These societies are often described as primitive since they utilize the simplest technology. They called as a nomadic or the nomadic tribe, such as the San in Africa, and small tribes found in remote locations throughout the world. Another form is the agricultural societies, are those engaged primarily in agriculture activities such as farming, fishing, and livestock raising as a primary way of life. The next of the kind is industrial societies, are centered on mechanized production and the exchange of goods and services. Next is the modern societies, are technologically advanced societies characterized by industry, mass production, and advanced communication and transportation. Advances of technology, meanwhile, have enabled people to establish a virtual societies that are not confined by territory and are composed of individuals coming from various societies backgrounds, such as social media, online message, and online games. The social philosophy focuses on studying society and its influence on the human person. It applies philosophical concepts in a social context and looks into how social interactions shape people's perception, experience ideas, and values. Topics related to social philosophy. First is social ontology, social ethics, democracy, human rights, social equality, and social justice. We will discuss first what is social ontology. Social ontology is a study of the nature and properties of the social world. It is concerned with analyzing the various entities in the world that arise from social interaction. A prominent topic in social ontology is the analysis of social groups. The next one is the social ethics. Social ethics is the systematic reflection on the moral dimensions of social structures, systems, issues, and communities. Social ethics can be taught as a branch of the applied ethics, the application of ethical reasoning in social problems. The next is democracy. Democracy refers to a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. Next on the line is the human rights. Human rights are moral principles of norms for certain standards of human behavior and are regularly protected in municipal and international law. Next one is the social equality. Social equality is a state of affairs in which all people within the specific society have equal rights, liberties, and status, possibly including civil rights, freedom of speech, property rights, and equal access to certain social goods and social services. Last one is the social justice. Social justice is a political and philosophical theory which asserts that there are dimensions of the concept of justice beyond those embodied in the principles of civil and criminal law, economic supply and demand, or traditional moral frameworks. The ideas and discussion in social philosophy often influence other social sciences, such as psychology, political science, sociology, and the linguistics. The next question is, how is society formed? Humans are considered to have natural tendency to cooperate and organize, and society is a natural outcome for this human to socialize. During the Enlightenment, social philosophers pondered on the natural laws to govern societies, and in their discussions, several philosophers put forth their ideas regarding the formation of societies. One philosopher, which is Thomas Hobbes, the English philosopher of the 1588 to 1679, he is best known for his political thoughts, and deservedly so. His vision of the world is strikingly original and still relevant to contemporary politics. According to Thomas Hobbes, a person or group empowered to decide every social and political issue. The social contract is an agreement where individuals sacrifice some of their wants and submit it to higher authority. For John Locke, the man was an intellectual titan, one whose thoughts and ideas can be found throughout our country's earliest political documents, including and especially the Declaration of Independence. According to him, social contract is a covenant among individuals to cooperate in shared burden of upholding the welfare of society. Another one is Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau argues that the progression of the science and arts has caused the corruption of virtue and morality. For him, the social contract gives emphasis to individuals' decision-making and society. For John Rawls, upon awarding him the National Humanities Medal in 1999, President Bill Clinton praised John Rawls as perhaps the greatest political philosophers of the 20th century who helped a whole generation of learned Americans revive their faith in democracy. For him, the social contract is that human beings approach social cooperation in the rational manner in order to meet their individual self-interests. He imagined humans as having a veil of ignorance or no knowledge of one's own formation. Another one is David Gauter, another contemporary philosopher who follows in the tradition of Hobbes. Is David Gauter of the University of Pittsburgh. For Gauter's contractarian ethics, developed a contemporary version of a social contract theory designed to provide the rationale justification, or at least a minimal set of moral principles. So to demonstrate that the rational self-interested beings, there are rules that we should follow, even if they are not to our immediate advantage. For his prisoner's dilemma, if people always pursue their interests, they will end up with less desirable results that if they sacrifice immediate advantages for cooperative mutual gains. For his moral by agreement, he argues that voluntary compliance with the moral rules, even in the absence of enforcement, is in one's rational self-interest. Specifically, he contends that one should become a constraint maximizer, a person disposed to cooperate with others on the condition that they expect others to cooperate. Session. The next question is, how does society influence the person? First is the socialization. It is the process by which an individual learns the prevailing behaviors, attitudes, and values within his or her society. A person adopts a set of ideals and behavior considered appropriate within his or her own society. In the Stanford prison experiment conducted in 1971 in Stanford University, 24 male volunteers who were a sound mental state and had a history of violence were made participate in the simulated person environment in order to determine the factors that led to prisoner abuse in actual prisons. The social rules entails a set of expected behaviors that must be informed by a person. In the normative democratic theory is a perspective which considers a democratic society as morally desirable. In Western society, recognized to be more individualistic and secular, and often embody these values in their behavior. They are more likely to be seen as being assertive and direct in the dealings with others. In Asian societies are more rigid and formal in their social dealings as they value respect, familial relations, and social status. How does our own society define our identity as Filipinos? Our own Filipino society has a set of social values that govern our everyday interactions and define our character as uniquely Filipino. Evident in Filipino society. First is the close family ties, extended family relations, and community relations. Traditions that contribute the harmonious relations. One is pakikisama, next is pakikipagkapwa-tao, next is utang na loob, next is damayan, the last one is bayanihan. Religion also occupies an important role in Filipino society. Majority of Filipinos profess a Christian faith and religion has significant influence in many traditions and practices, such as fiesta and celebrations. Thank you and see you next week.